Before hip-hop ever had a voice, before the DJ ruled the mic, there was one man who changed the game forever. A man who turned rhythm into poetry, who made his words dance on rhythms. They called him the Originator. His name, URoy. From the smoky streets of Kingston to the stages of Europe, URoy created a sound that would shape the future. Reggae, dancehall, even hip-hop. He didn't just speak over music. He became the music. This is the story of URoy Beckford, the man the world came to know as URoy. A humble soul who started with a microphone and ended up transforming the sound of a generation. Join us as we uncover the journey. From his early life, family and humble beginnings, to fame, legacy and beyond. This is URoy, the Originator, the man who changed reggae forever. Our story begins in Kingston, Jamaica, September 21st, 1942. A baby boy is born, URoy Beckford. He grew up in Jonestown, one of Kingston's most vibrant but tough neighborhoods. The streets were alive with music, ska, calypso, and the rumble of sound systems echoing through the night air. Young URoy was fascinated by sound. While other kids chased footballs, he chased vibes. He'd stand near the corner where a local sound system played, just to feel the bass thump through his chest. His parents raised him with love and discipline. His mother, a woman of faith, and his father, a man who believed in hard work. They didn't have much money, but they had something more powerful, a connection to music. From a young age, URoy spent hours glued to the radio, listening to the voices that filled Jamaica with energy. He was captivated by early mic men like Count Machuki and King Stitt, who spoke rhythmically between songs, hyping the crowd, controlling the dance. That sound, part talking, part singing, would shape his destiny. In school, URoy was quiet but clever. Friends said he had rhythm in everything he did. The way he spoke, the way he moved. He didn't know it yet, but his voice would one day become one of the most important in reggae history. As the 1950s rolled on, Jamaica was changing fast. Sound systems were becoming the heartbeat of every street party, every celebration. And somewhere in that vibrant chaos, a young man dreamed of picking up the mic and making people move. By the late 1950s, URoy Beckford was no longer a spectator. He was stepping up to the mic. He joined Dr. Dickey's Dynamite sound system, one of the popular sets in Kingston. There, he learned how to talk to the crowd, how to make every word ride the rhythm like a wave. But that was only the beginning. Soon, he moved on to Sir George the Atomic sound system, where his confidence grew. He experimented, mixing humor, rhythm, and storytelling into his talkovers. That's when people started noticing something different about him. His delivery wasn't random chatter. It had timing, melody, flow. He could control a crowd with just his voice. It was around this time he adopted a name that would stick for life, URoy. A playful twist on his middle name, URoy, the name rolled off the tongue, smooth, unique, unforgettable. At dances, URoy's mic work stood out from everyone else's. While others simply spoke, he toasted, blending his voice into the rhythm like an instrument. He'd chant, sing and joke, a conversation between man and music. Influenced by pioneers like Count Machuki and King Stitt, he took the art form further, transforming toasting into something rhythmic, stylish and spiritual. It was no longer background chatter, it was the main event. Every night, the crowd got bigger. Every performance, the energy stronger. The sound system scene was exploding, and URoy was its rising star. In the late 1960s, Jamaica's music scene was evolving. Rocksteady was fading, and reggae was rising. The air was heavy with bass lines, echo, and innovation. And at the center of this movement stood two men, King Tubby and Duke Reid. King Tubby, the master engineer, was reinventing sound. He stripped songs to their raw rhythms, creating versions, instrumentals designed for DJs to talk over. And when Tubby needed a voice to bring those versions to life, there was only one man he trusted, URoy. In 1970, URoy stepped into the studio with Duke Reid, owner of Treasure Isle Records. That session birthed 3 songs that would shake the island: Wake the Town, Rule the Nation, and Wear You to the Ball. Within weeks, all 3 tracks climbed to the top of the Jamaican charts, a historic moment when one artist held the top 3 positions simultaneously. URoy's voice was everywhere, on the radio, in the dance halls, on street corners. His smooth, confident toasting became the soundtrack of a new generation. He didn't just speak over music, he spoke through it. King Tubby's bass-heavy production, combined with URoy's melodic flow, changed everything. Sound system culture exploded. Every dance wanted that talk-over style, that vibe that made people move, smile, and think. URoy's fame grew so fast that his name became a verb. To URoy meant to toast over the rhythm. He had turned a local art into a national sensation, and soon that sensation would go global. By the early 1970s, URoy was no longer just a Kingston star. He was a Jamaican icon. Dance halls packed to capacity, fans screaming his name, and DJs across the island trying to sound like him. His revolutionary toasting style inspired a wave of new artists. Dennis Al Capone, Big Youth, URoy, Trinity, and countless others, all following in his footsteps. But URoy was never threatened by imitators. He said, "Music is for everyone. If I open the door, then let others come through." His international career took off when Virgin Records signed him in the mid-1970s. The album Dread in a Babylon introduced URoy to the world. Tracks like Chalice in the Palace and Runaway Girl made him a household name in Europe. Fans in London, Paris, and New York danced to his music, mesmerized by his effortless flow. His live shows were electric, his voice gliding over rhythms, his presence commanding every stage. Beyond the Caribbean, his influence reached even further. In the Bronx, young DJs like Kool Herc were building a new culture, hip-hop. They drew inspiration from Jamaican sound system traditions, from URoy's toasting, his crowd control, his rhythmic storytelling. Without URoy, there might never have been a DJ as we know it today. His voice carried across oceans, shaping the birth of rap and the evolution of global music. He wasn't just a reggae artist, he was a musical architect, a man whose sound system mic became a bridge between Kingston and the world stage. Behind the microphone, beyond the spotlight, URoy was a man of peace, laughter, and humility. His family knew him not as a star, but as a kind father and a caring friend. He was deeply connected to his Rastafarian faith, which guided every part of his life. His diet, his discipline, his message of love and unity. URoy often said, "Music should uplift the people. If you're not spreading love, you're wasting sound." He kept his private life simple, far away from the chaos of fame. He lived quietly in Jamaica, surrounded by family and close friends. His home was a reflection of him, full of records, speakers, photos, and memories of his musical journey. He loved to spend time in nature, to reason with younger artists, to smoke a chalice in peace. His family described him as gentle and generous, always ready to help someone in need. Though he traveled the world, URoy's heart never left Jamaica. He was proud of his roots, the island, the people, the sound. To him, reggae was not just music, it was a way of life. Even as fame surrounded him, he remained humble. He didn't need luxury, just love, respect, and rhythm. And that gratitude, that deep humility, is what made URoy more than a star. It made him a legend. The 1970s were URoy's golden era. The man who had begun as a humble sound system DJ was now the voice of an entire island. Tracks like Chalice in the Palace, Natty Rebel, and Dread in a Babylon cemented his status. Every release was eagerly anticipated. Every performance was a cultural event. He signed with Virgin Records, bringing his sound to Europe and beyond. Fans in London, Paris, and New York danced to his music, mesmerized by his effortless flow. URoy wasn't just performing, he was teaching audiences the heartbeat of Jamaica. Collaborations with producers like Prince Tony Robinson and Nini the Observer helped him expand the creative possibilities of reggae. Together, they experimented with rhythm, echo, and vocal layering, pushing the boundaries of what a DJ could do. His influence spread like wildfire. Other artists studied his style, copied his techniques, but none could match his natural charisma. He had become a global ambassador for reggae, a bridge between the streets of Kingston and the world stage. URoy understood something many stars never do. Legacy isn't built alone. He became a mentor to a new generation of DJs: URoy, Big Youth, Josie Wales, Charlie Chaplin, Brigadier Jerry. He founded the Stir Gav sound system, a platform to teach young talent the art of performance. Here, they learned not just to speak over rhythms, but to feel them, to live them. URoy's philosophy was simple: respect the music, respect the people, and always give your best. Through Stir Gav, he passed on knowledge, technical skills, showmanship, and spiritual connection to the music. Many of today's legends credit him as a teacher, a guide, and the foundation of their careers. Even as he aged, URoy remained a living link to the roots of reggae. He reminded every artist that sound systems were more than machines. They were culture, community, and history. By the mid-1970s, URoy's contributions to music earned him recognition from Jamaican cultural organizations, industry peers, and fans alike. He performed at Reggae Sumfest, received Lifetime Achievement Awards, and was celebrated in countless documentaries. His influence was not just in reggae, but across genres. Hip-hop pioneers like Kool Herc and Grandmaster Flash openly cited URoy as a direct inspiration. International media began to call him the Originator, a title he carried with humility. He was proud, but never boastful. For URoy, the real reward was the joy his music brought to people. Behind the legend, URoy was a man of simplicity, humility, and deep spirituality. He preferred quiet mornings over crowded parties, cherished time with family, and stayed close to the roots that inspired him. Though he traveled the world and performed on global stages, his heart always belonged to Jamaica. The streets, the hills, and the music that raised him. He loved nature, community, and moments of reflection. A chalice, some idle food, a steady rhythm. That was enough for the man who had conquered stages worldwide. Despite fame and recognition, he remained grounded. Fans and fellow musicians alike admired his gentle demeanor, generosity, and unwavering respect for the culture. URoy often said, "Life is music, and music is life. Keep it simple, keep it honest, and it will take you far." He wasn't defined by awards, money, or fame. He was defined by his love for people, his passion for music, and the way he uplifted the world with every performance. URoy's talent translated into a modest yet meaningful fortune. Through album sales, international tours, and ownership of the Stir Gav sound system, he accumulated an estimated net worth of $1 to $2 million. But money was never the measure of success for URoy. His true wealth was respect, influence, and legacy. He carefully managed his career, ensuring that future generations of artists had a path to follow. Even as financial challenges arose, his contributions to music remained priceless and timeless. Even into his late 70s, URoy remained active, performing, recording, and mentoring young artists. He collaborated with a new generation, Shaggy, Ziggy Marley, and others, proving that his voice was timeless. His final album, Solid Gold URoy, celebrated his decades-long journey and global influence. In February 2021, the world mourned as URoy passed away peacefully. Tributes poured in from fans, peers, and musicians worldwide, all recognizing the man who gave the world the voice of a movement. URoy's impact is impossible to overstate. He didn't just invent a style, he created a cultural revolution. From Kingston to the Bronx, from London clubs to African sound systems, URoy's influence shaped modern DJing, dancehall, and hip-hop. Countless artists credit him as the inspiration for everything they do on the mic. He taught us that music is more than entertainment. It is unity, history, and identity. Even today, decades after his first hit, you can hear his voice in the streets, on vinyl, and in the hearts of reggae lovers worldwide. URoy was humble in life, but immortal in sound. And with URoy, that was no metaphor. The originator of toasting, the king of the mic, the voice of a generation, URoy will live forever in the heartbeat of reggae and the soul of music worldwide. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep reggae documentaries and true artist stories.